Need some more lights in here. They'll warm it up. It's just a bit cold. The problem is that I got this wall-to-wall tea cupboard here. And so it doesn't really give me any option for like a light there, because that's where one should belong. But it would block my cupboard if I put a standing light there. And I can get these corner lights, but they look a bit naff. Sort my lighting out, man. Sort my life out. Sort your life out, sort your light out. They're synonymous. Without the right lighting, your life is illuminated incorrectly, my friend. And just like film, you know, just like everything, you can like have a very dim life if it's not illuminated correctly. And you can take whatever meaning you want out of that, because I haven't thought about what that could mean, but it's an interesting thought process. But I first of all want to read from you. I want to read from you. I want to read to you what I'm currently reading. This American Planet was sent to me by Joe King, and he's a champion of discernment like yourselves, and therefore drinks Mayleaf teas. And he wrote me in a really lovely letter, which I'm not going to disclose the contents of, but like as to the importance of tea in his life and how it led him to write this book, amongst other things. It's not tea that led. Tea was a conduit, or tea was a key holder to open doors, to give him the space to express himself in this American Planet. And I've just started reading it. He sent me a copy very kindly. Of course, there's always the hope that there will be some discussion of it on my social media, because people need to sell books, right? But I would not mention it if I didn't enjoy at least the beginning of it, okay? So whilst this is a nudge favor for somebody, because, you know, they sent me a book and they're a tea head and I want to spread the love, right? But at the same time, if it was a bit meh, it was a bit I would be like, ugh, right? But I've just started and it's made me chuckle a lot. It starts off with this, I don't know where it goes, but it starts off with this cockroach and this fly that are like living in this, I think they're living in an apartment, or they're in this sort of apartment block with these two stoners, and the cockroach is like gathering up all of the like crumbled nugs that have hit the floor when they're too high to like roll properly, or whatever it is, you know, like, and all the like resins and butters and all the amazing stuff you get over in the US that's hard to find over in the UK. Anyway, the waxes and all that good shizzle. Rosins, and now I'm getting excited about that. Anyway, point is, he collects him, he's like the dealer. And then the flies goes over, he's like, he needs to get a nug, and they get high together and stuff. So it's interesting. It's like the zeitgeist and the environment of sort of, I don't know, where I'm assuming sort of urban, you know, urban malaise. Yeah, that sort of like, what are we doing? And people just like getting high and just stoners surrounded. In fact, it comes with artwork, which is super cool, because it just like, you can so see it. I'm assuming that he created his own sort of AI artwork and stuff. I'll show you some pictures. So these are the stoners that are where these insects are. But it's great. It comes with artwork. And I'll read you a little bit. This is where I am. So, Curtis looked out beyond the crack in the wind. Curtis is the fly. And this is this. Right? He's checking it out. Curtis looked out beyond the crack in the window frame. It was night. Night is good for bugs. With Curtis's job status, I guess he's a bit of a dealer. Curtis was a drug runner. There you go. He consistently delivered the product from his close friend and supplier Gregor to the leader of the cartel to the leader of the cartel for his nation, a 5-square backyard area called the neighborhood. This bug's name was Lucas. Lucas was a wasp and the leader of the nest, Flickering yellow lights perforated the dark air between the crack in the window and the shed on the other side of the fence where the nest was located. Fuck, it's the 5-0, grumbled Curtis. In the world of bugs, law and order was still maintained and enforced by the fireflies of the neighborhood. Below the crack of the window was a cavalcade of spilt beer, empty cans, cigarettes, vomit, and used food wrappers. This was the city center of the neighborhood, fondly called the Bottoms by the denizens of the neighborhood. It's kind of cool, like this, it's this little drama unfolding amongst the insects. So anyway, This American Planet, I will put details for the link tree, so you can go over, and it's an audiobook as well, so you can just go and just listen to it on Spotify, or you can buy this hardback, which is cool. It comes with loads of artwork, right? Yeah, apparently Joe needs to sell a couple of thousand copies for this to take off, and there you go. Joe, merci, monsieur, for the lovely gift. And he sent a t-shirt as well, which I don't know where it's gone. I think Celine's taken it to, I don't know. Celine's obsessed with washing clothes that are new because her mother worked in the fashion industry and told her that whenever you get new clothes, wash it, because there's so many chemicals on the actual clothes. You got to wash it. And so whenever clothes come in, first thing just goes to the wash. It's kind of a bit weird to me, but I mean, I respect that. It's good knowledge to have. So I will wear the t-shirt, but it's basically, it's Ninja Turtles getting high, which is, cool. There you go. I wonder where this is going to go, This American Planet. It's very rare that I read fiction. So for me, it's just like, oh, wow, okay. Cool. Yeah. What are we doing? Oh, man. Okay, I will show you. I'm a bit embarrassed. My daughter asked for pizza. Because I said, you can choose. We'll order something. It's Friday. What do you want? And she's like, pizza. And then I said, do you want round pizza? Of which nearby, there's only Neapolitan, and both me and her, we're like, fine, whatever, but we're not really down with the soft and the floppy. I know, yeah, good bread, well, been proving for 5 years or something, fine, whatever, cooked in 13 seconds. But there's a lot of Neapolitan in London. No, London now has become great for pizza, but there's a few spots, because I'm much more of a crispy pizza guy. I love Roman pizzas. I love focaccia pizzas, but I'm a New York boy. I love New York pizza. I love US style pizzas, New Haven, New York, etc. But I also love Detroit. And so there's a Detroit pizza place called the Detroit Pizza Company in London, and they do decent Detroit. I think it's good. The problem is that they're really far away, very far away. And for some reason, Uber, allows me to order from them. So I offered her the choice. It was my fault. I offered her the choice, do you want to go for she wanted pizza. Do you want to go for somewhere nearby that's, a round pizza? It's going to be sort of a half decent, probably a bit floppy, Neapolitan. Or do you want this? And I showed her the Detroit, and she's like, that. I was like, yeah, obviously you did. Then I ordered it, and it came, it was just, because it was so far away, it was cold, so I had to heat it up, but then it became just overly crispy, and it looks terrible now because it's been sitting for about an hour and a half. But look at that. That's a travesty, right? At one point, that was a decent pizza. But then, the reheat I don't think Detroit's reheat that well. Anyway, so it's just sitting there, but it's still making my mouth water because I'm so obsessed with pizza. I am very obsessed with pizza. I will travel around for pizza. And yeah. What's your favorite pizza spot in New York, New Yorkers? I'm always in or anywhere in the US, or anywhere where you are. Like good pizza. And I mean, like, fine, Neapolitan pizza is good pizza if you're in that mode. I get it, it's a thing, I get it. I'm not trying to say it's not good pizza. It's just not my vibe. Like for me, like the archetype of pizza, it has to have crisp. But there are some great places in London, you know, and everyone knows them. Like, you know, anybody who's in the food world knows them, so it's not like I'm saying anything new. You've got Gracie's, you've got Vincenzo's, you've got Crisp, you've got Lenny's, you've got Dohan's? No, is it Dohan's? East London, which I think is actually like one of the best. Is it Dohan's? I think I'm going to say Dohan's. If I'm wrong, I'll write something somewhere. There's another place that's just opened in London that's meant to be really good, but I looked at it, it looks a bit bready, but anyway. And so there's this trend over the past couple of years of because I've been moaning for near on 20 years about the fact, why can't we get some decent American or, you know, East Coast pizza our way? What the hell is stopping? And everyone's saying, oh no, it's the tap water or the, you know, the flour or whatever. But no, there's some good pizza. In New York, my favorite place, see, I didn't go to Mama's too, which I should have gone to, obviously. But I do like L'Industrie, or L'Industrie. I did like it. I know it's a long queue, I know it's hyped as hell, but I did like it. Let's just eat some of this. Yeah. Tastes like childhood to me, because I don't like marinara sauces. Sauces that are cooked, marinara sauces that are cooked, are fine, but I'll always prefer a raw sauce, because you want that brightness. That's the one brightness amongst all of the bread and the cheese and the saltiness. You know, it's that one brightness. And when you've got a cooked down sauce, it's just too much. It's just too many. It's too intense. It's too concentrated. I want lightness in the sauce. And that reminds me of when I was a kid. For some reason, frozen pizzas always had that cooked sauce. Obviously, too sweet, way too sweet, like sugary cooked sauce. This isn't like that. But yeah, but the bread is good, or was good at one point. Anyway. But I have a problem with pizza. If there's pizza in front of me, it's gonna go. I literally have a bottomless pit there for pizza and pasta. I don't know if it's the Italian in me or whatever it is, but I'll get full on lots of things. But pizza and pasta, I don't know what happens, because they should be super heavy, right? Until I drink water, and then, but if I'm just eating, like, man, I can go through pasta. That's why I literally, it's the one thing I don't really cook at home, even if I do say much so myself, I can make some mean pasta sauces. Like, if I make pasta, like, it means something to me. It's got to be like, that right consistency, that stickiness, enough of the starch is released so it becomes, I used to make myself bowls of pasta. It'd be like my thing, like make a big load of pasta and just sit and like watch TV and just, that's why I don't do it. You never see me cook pasta unless it's like I'm being asked and it's like friends over and I'll cook pasta. Fine. But if I'm by myself, it ain't happening. Unless it's like an intended treat of like, we're going to do this. And if so, which sauce? I hear nobody asking but me. Which sauce? Good question, whoever asked. Nobody but me. Oof. which pasta is the desert island pasta? And we're talking about shape and sauce. We're not just talking about, I don't like that angle. We're not just talking about, I don't like that angle, but I'll go with it. Talking about shape and sauce. Let's talk about it. Carbonara, a good carbonara, properly made carbonara, is just so luxurious and just yummy. Loads of like pecorino in there, or a combo of Parma and pecorino, but I just like pecorino. Obviously, you know, it's got to be no cream in it. Like it's got to be like proper eggs and the guanciale, but like it's how you do the eggs. Do you put egg whites in with your egg yolks, or do you just exclusively go egg yolks? That's one thing. I lean towards, if you're going to do it properly, you just go egg yolk all the way. Egg yolk, tons of black pepper. The pecorino with maybe a bit of Parmesan, 70-30. Guanciale, fried, like releasing all of that fat. And then the pasta going in, and then this you're essentially making a custard. And I saw at one documentary where like when this Italian restaurant that's famous for their carbonara, he did basically make a custard with pasta water and egg yolks and the cheese, and then just poured that over the pasta. So that kind of, it all became very clear to me. Yeah, it's essentially a cheesy custard, right? Yeah, and so I think why, like, it reminds me a lot of some of the sort of eggy custard stuff that heads into Japan, which I know Japan and their pasta, they have like their own sort of style of like developing the Italian pasta sauces. But yeah, anyway, carbonara, good carbonara is unbeatable. But is it your desert island? And first of all, if you were going to do it, I think for me, okay, I would take ownership here. I'm not like the expert on pasta shapes, okay? I know there's tons out there. But out of the standard ones, I think I would go spaghetti. I just think the round bite. Whereas with a bolognese, I do agree that with a bolognese, a tagliatelle, I really like an I like that in between, I do. But like a tagliatelle bolognese and a pappardelle with the ragouts, I get the sort of logic behind all of that, and I agree. Stuff gets lost if you have the pasta that's too small, like spaghetti. If you have a rabbit ragout, it just sort of, you end up with just a pile of rabbit ragout at the bottom. You want thick enough ribbons that just grab it and hold it. Then you've got the shaped pastas, of course, of which I like, but I've always preferred the longer pastas. I prefer the act of the twirly and the slurpy, you know, whereas like fusilli and orecchiette and all that stuff is a bit like stabby. I'm not into stabby pasta as much, you know. Also, they tend to have a bit too much density, like, you know, they tend to have a bit too much bite, or they're a bit too, it's a bit heavier, they're thicker. I'm not a gnocchi person. I know, all you people that have just gasped, all you three people that have just gasped, and this is a conversation that I have with my sister quite a lot because she loves gnocchi. And she always says, "You've never had a good one." I'm like, "I have. I've had good gnocchi." She's like, No. You get like so soft and pillowy and luxurious. I'm like, exactly. Textureless. Don't give me textureless stuff. I don't want just, I want something. And that's just my thing. I get it. Like, it's like mashed potato and stuff like that. It's like, I get that there's a comfort factor in it, and I know that they can have a little bite and a bit of a pillowy, you know, and it's like, whatever. It's like a perfect little, but, you know, the gnocchi, I get it. And I don't know, poll out there. I would love to know what the male to female split is on people who love gnocchi, because my totally unjustified feeling is I tend to hear women going on about gnocchi much more than men. going about gnocchi. But anyway. So for me, longer pastas. I love, the fettuccinis, linguinis, tagliatelles, pappardelles, spaghetti, just like, so it would be one of those. Which is the sauce? Which is the sauce? I know that my sister would say arrabbiata. Would she say arrabbiata? Oh, she's going to be cursing at me if I got the wrong sauce. I think she is obsessed with a good arrabbiata. I love a good zucchini or courgette, like cooked down with lots of olive oil. Like cook it down with lots of olive oil until it becomes just mushy. And then I love lemon. I love lemon in everything. And I know Italians just go, you can't put lemon in pasta. Well, soz, I do. Give me a seafood pasta. I'm going to ask for lemon and you're going to be horrified. And we're going to have that awkward conversation because I still want my lemon. All right. Don't give me a seafood pasta and a vongole or whatever. No, but the white wine. No, just give me some lemon. Just a wedge. Don't look as I squeeze. But I will have lemon on my clams. Just a little bit. I'm not a Philistine. Anyway, so courgettes or zucchini, cooked down olive oil, some garlic in there, which is sort of like confying, but also slightly browning. So you're getting that nutsiness in there, and it's confit soft, and it's becoming all like mushy. Chuck in a couple of anchovies, right? Let them melt into it. And then mix that up with, I would again say, I would need to do the test, but I like linguine. Mix it up like with some pasta water, obviously. Ooh, use pasta water. Remember, everyone was like going on about that, like the past 5 years. It's like, oh, do you know you put pasta water? It's like, yes, we got that. Some pasta water, so it like becomes a bit unctuous. Tons and tons of, again, a good pecorino, loads and loads of black pepper, and a squeeze of lemon juice. Touch of fresh oregano. Touch, just a little bit, not too much. I love that. That for me is I go to. I love a norma. I love cooked down aubergines. I think I really enjoy those cooked down vegetable, like zucchini, courgettes, eggplant, aubergine. Why are those the two vegetables that like we have a difference in terms of US and UK language? Yeah, a norma. Do love a norma with maybe a little bit of some salami or some nduja or some spicy sausage in there. One of those two. I got obsessed with bolognese for a while, to the point where I was going to write something about bolognese, because I was like looking at all the different like recipes for bolognese and the history of bolognese and so when I make a bolognese I do add milk, and I do prefer it with milk. For me it's got to be a slightly pink sauce. It can't be just a tomato. I love a good tomatoey bolognese, but for me that's not the authentic bolognese. I do love that. My sister used to like make it. She used to put like 2 tubes of tomato puree, so it's like really strong tomato, claggy, but I used to love it. Loads of like cheddar, love it. Mix it up in there. But like now, like I appreciate the slightly more lighter bolognese with the milk. For me, like if you're gonna do it really properly, and apologies if I offend people out there, but it's veal and pork combo. But depends on your ethics on that. Anyway, like gotta have carrot, gotta have celery, gotta have onion, but cut them fine. I don't really want to see them in the sauce. Star anise for me is a must. Just one star anise just adds a whole level of flavor to it and combines with the milkiness in such an amazing way. And that milk cooks down and just becomes sort of creamy and like pink, makes the sauce a bit pinker and just becomes creamy. You got to cook it well. You got to cook it slow. You got to just give it time to just do its thing. A great bolognese is great, but it's not my desert island. Ragouts, like rabbit ragouts, and like beef ragouts and game venison ragu, all these kinds of things. I love any slow cooked stewy thing. I'm in, and I will order that. But it's not really the ultimate sauce. It's like, you could put that on rice, you could put that on, it's not the ultimate sauce for pasta. A vongole is good. I'm not a huge seafood person, but I like a vongole. There are so many sauces out there that I'm forgetting, but probably for good reason. Yeah, I would seriously think about going for just a simple alla olio is, amazing, right? Or cacio e pepe. It's like, I like those kinds of sauces. They're sort of simple, more custardy coating ones. The carbonaras, the alla olio, I'm saying that terribly. These courgette, zucchini, normal ones that just like mulch down. I love that. Truffle pasta, I'm down. I am down with truffle pasta, but truffle is a bit like, not one note, but it just dominates. And so, if you've ever had that truffle egg pasta in Australia, in Sydney, I did that. I put truffles with eggs and did all that. And it is amazing, but it's a bit hardcore. You can't eat that much of it. My ex-girlfriend's dad was from Germany, Hungary, Transylvania. Sort of like, he was from Germany, but had Hungarian ties. Anyway, like real foodie, loved his food. So sadly no longer with us. Such a character. And he told me this story of how he went to Italy as this German, Hungarian, whatever. And I don't know how he presented himself. And he entered the bolognese making competition in Italy. I don't know if it was in Bologna or if it was somewhere else. And he won the competition. And I asked him, like, what, you gotta give me the recipe, tell me about it. And he was like, he told me the recipe, and it was sort of similar to what I was doing, white wine and the milk and stuff. But the milk he used, he said, crucial, the milk he used was horse milk. To which I was like, say what? Horse milk? Where'd you get horse milk? I've never gone into a supermarket and seen cow, goat, horse. I've never seen that. I've got to plug this in. I've never seen that. So where are you getting horse milk from? He's like, oh, of course you've got to have horse milk. I was like, sorry, but like nobody has horse milk just sitting in their like fridge. And he was like, yeah. He opened his freezer and he pulled out like loads of like bags of frozen horse milk. And I was like, okay, clearly I'm wrong. People do keep frozen. He was like, I always have horse milk. And he was looking at me with this sort of incredulous, like, it's almost like the equivalent of me saying, I always have butter in my house. What are you talking about? I always have olive oil. It's like, I always have horse milk. And to the point where he was traveling with it. He went to Italy, because I don't think he went to Italy, from my memory of the story. It was not that he went to Italy for this competition. He went to Italy and he found out, oh, there's a bolognese competition, and he entered it and he won. So he was just have a bit of horse milk on you, I mean, why not? Just never occurred to me. Who's had horse milk? And I tried it, and it's very creamy. I get why it would make a good bolognese. What are we going to do next? That would be surreal, right? Imagine you go into a supermarket and it's like all these different animals. Pig, alpaca. want to try other milks now.